Thank you and welcome back, my wonderful people. Please kindly welcome Isaac Osabo. Isaac Osabo, a news commentary coming right from his desk. Welcome, Isaac. All right, my wonderful people. Experience of turning every calculated propaganda against Peter Obi's presidential candidacy to the marine. To Obi's traducers, propaganda techniques are very effective as it gives them a wide leverage to drag their target in the mud, and by that diminishes chances in the political market space. Against the foregoing backdrop, they are the want to restore to the use of aid himon, which simply means if you can't win the argument, attack the person. In this context, if you don't have a people-oriented issue to campaign with, attack your close political opinion and political opponent. As Christians, there is no denying the fact that there is a spiritual war being against or being waged in the heart and minds of Nigerians, particularly those that are qualified to vote and be voted for. This war is unpatriotically being sponsored by those that are in support of government that is closeless by using pertinent newspapers, television, radio, and all other types of media, particularly social media, to propagate lies against the person and candidacy of Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party ahead of the 2023 general elections. Why Nigerians continue to pray to God for him to raise a Messiah for Nigeria, and which has been found in Obi. Satan is unarguably using any method to try and win, and further throw Nigerians into another round of hardship that have been biting hard on them since 2015, when the ruling party, of course, All Progressive Congress (APC), fortunately displaced the People Democratic Party from being the ruling party. Meanwhile, contained amongst the many taxes used by Obi's traducers to the tool to propaganda, why people can engage in propaganda either knowingly or unknowingly. It is very important that we are able to identify it so that we will definitely not be deceived. This warning becomes indispensable as propaganda is being used by some politicians and their rowdy followers against Obi to perpetuate their already tired and tested party to other power again, to the detriment of Nigeria as a people and Nigeria as a country. Without any iota of exaggeration, this is what some politicians and their supporters are doing ahead of upcoming general election to deny Peter Obi the opportunity of revamping Nigeria's economy. Based on this, in John chapter 3, verse 9 to 10, there is a blueprint that evil men have used throughout the ages to obtain and hold on to power. It is a two-step method, and it goes like this. They accepted and attempted to discredit their closet political opponent and control the political environment of the people over whom they wish to gain power. Meanwhile, they become this mischievous to separate and to isolate those that do not belong to their political game, especially those who propose or who pose at threat. Against the foregoing backdrop, there is no denying fact that Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, who emerged as the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party after winning the party's political and presidential primary election held at the Hotel in Sabah, that was last year, Delta State, has become the target of propagees that are afflicted to the other 17 registered political parties ahead of the 2023 general election. Meanwhile, particularly to note this movement of campaign of calumny against Peter Obi, propagandists afflicted to the People Democratic Party and All Progressive Congress (APC). Onto this, inasmuch as propaganda is allowed in the field of political communication for promoting a particular agenda or point of view, there is also no gainsaying that the fact that Peter Obi's traducers are mischievously using it to mislead Nigeria to detriment of a new Nigeria, which everyone is hoping to witness come 2023, and therefrom, as bad as the country's economy, coupled with the unprecedented level of insecurity across the country, Nigeria, as it is now, not fewer than Nigerians in the Christendom are trying and praying with the word of God that is inherent in Nahum, that is in chapter 1, in verse 9, that says, "What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time." My wonderful people, without wasting much of your time, without any iota of exaggeration, Nigeria have been groaning under the weight of affliction since 2015, when the APC became Nigeria's ruling political parties. Meanwhile, without resorting to misinformation, in this context, Obi's traducers have been convincing not fewer gullible Nigerians that Obi does not have what it takes to lead Nigerians to promised land that they have been yearning for. They have mischievously chosen to be propagating outright lies and falsehood, and thus engaging them to see him as unfit to becoming Nigerian president. To buttress the foregoing views, it is expedient also in this context to make reference to Mr. Peter Obi, to Mr. Sam Amataya, who is the column in the National's newspaper depicted Obi as a shelter for miscreant, saying Obi has turned out to be an executive or an excuse for even closet Biafrans to betray upon emotion about Biafra without being accused of it. These include intellectuals who did not show mercy to him while he gained in Anambra as a pharistic chief executive. It is therefore like wearing a collar bonnet of another color. Peter Obi has become a shelter for both miscreants and actives of the crowd. In fact, prior to the publication of the much criticized and condoned article, the partisan writer, who is also a poet, novelist, and playwright, that is hiding under the crack of journalism profession, has been holding sway as a propagandist. Based on this, to Obi's strategies, propaganda techniques are very effective as it gives them a wide leverage to drag their target in the mud, and by that mishmash, his chances in the political market space against the foregoing backdrop, they won't be resort to the use of ad hominem, which simply means if you can't win the argument, attack the person. In this context, if you don't have a people-oriented issue to campaign with, attack your closest political opponent. My wonderful people, another propaganda technique is aid promotion, which simply means put out the message over and over again until you want to vomit. It entails drilling it into people's head until it becomes a second nature to them. They are optimistic that once it is hardwired into a person's brain, they will act accordingly, even if it is complete blood dash. After all, Joseph Jobbez Nazi Minister of Propaganda is reputed credited with the saying, "If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually become to live in it." My wonderful people, without wasting much of your time, in fact, since Obi threw this hat into the ring ahead of the 2023 general election, he has seemingly not had the respect, the right to put his political traducers through is as it appears as have literally been blinded by politicians and politics to lend their ears to him. On him, he planned to turn the economy of our great nation. Thank God he was widely criticized that he lacked a winning political structure and has been able to talk sense into their head. Well, without wasting much of your time, my wonderful people, be that as it may, to this state, it is pertinent of those that are bent to this time. We will create a structure and they will say what the structure is all about. The structure is about human beings, be that it may be. This has to be done. It is expedient of those that are bent on sullying the reputation of Peter Obi to any or always tell their calculated propaganda against Peter Obi's presidential candidacy to the Marines. Well, that is a news commentary. They already are mothers, fathers, and the old ones dying on this method. Dying, being allowed the gratitude person and will be structure. As to the structure, the lecturers are not being allowed and the students are now in school. We will be the structure. Okay, that has been on to this from my wonderful people. Why not send your take on this matter? Remember to send them and remember to tap on the subscription button for more updates. Thanks and God bless.